So, this is a post I have come across quite a lot, spread by the truthers. So, let's go for it. I'll read it. You make up your mind about what you feel about it. Cash is freedom. A cashless society means zero cash. No car boot sales, markets, no tooth fairy, piggy banks, no saving cash for a rainy day, no tipping the waiter or hairdresser, no giving to the homeless, no giving to busking musicians, no selling unwanted items for cash, no buying anything with privacy. 100% digital currency means your life is 100% dependent on a power source and the internet. Every penny you receive will be recorded, every transaction will be tracked. Now, you make up your own minds about what you feel about this. Now, I'm going to tell you maybe a lot of things that you don't know about cash and you don't know about the system that's coming. Now, I want you to take into account what you think and feel about this right now. And I'm going to explain exactly what this means. Cash is freedom, says who? Like, let's fundamentally break this down. You want to turn this video off, always being pedantic little prick? Fine, I don't care. But stuff like this comes from places of pure brainwashing. So, the truthers, the new agers, all different arguments and different beliefs of different sectors of brainwashing. I'm going to prove it. Cash is freedom. Okay, fundamentally, says who? Says what? Says what exactly? Like, if you're speaking to an alien, cash is freedom. How is it freedom? It's pieces of paper that have no value that they print $150 billion of it every single month into existence. And they have most of it. And you're going, cash is freedom. Cash is the very thing that's actually enslaving you because they print more of it. Let's fundamentally get to the point here. They are just printing money, $150 billion a month. What, you didn't know that? Wow, that's probably why you post stuff like this. $150 billion of it every single month. And they pump it into the system. This is why you've got your furlough. This is why you get your energy rebates, because they're just laundering money into society. That's why everything's going up. That's why we have inflation. Oh, come on. I mean, wait, like, oh, wake up. Hello. A cashless society means zero cash. Well, yeah, obviously. Cheers for... Obviously, what's your point? Obviously, that's exactly what it means. A cashless society means zero cash. Yeah, well done. A star. No car boot sales, markets. Why would you be having car boot sales in the world that's coming? Especially the religious who believes it's heaven. Why would you be having car boot sales? Why would you be selling stuff? Why would we be slaughtering animals? Oh, we haven't got car boot sales. Well, I don't want... Why would you live in that world where you have car boot sales? Now, if I've lost you here, I don't really care. Why would you be... What do you mean markets? No tooth fairy. Why do people even still teach their children lies like this? Oh, the tooth fairy took your teeth. Why? Oh, we can't teach our kids about tooth fairy. Good, you shouldn't be. It's nonsense. Period. Piggy banks. What? Their money that has no value in their banks that they turn off. You're in a lot of trouble. Now, bear with me here. No saving cash for a rainy day. Why do you live in a world where you manifest rainy days? And what are you saving cash for on a rainy day? Doesn't make any sense. So if it's raining, what? You can't use your bank account? No, you've got to use cash. It's raining. Doesn't make any sense. No tipping the waiter or hairdresser. The very fact we live in a world where waiters and hairdressers rely on people tipping them because their employers don't pay them enough. Like, what are you highlighting here exactly? Well, I can't give cash to the waiter and the hairdresser. Yeah, you can. No giving to the homeless. Yeah, you can. They already have their own little terminals that they pay with, that you probably use on your own phone, in your own debit cards, and your own pay for stuff. In fact, the very Facebook you use is the technology that you're whinging about. Oh, I can't give to the homeless. Well, if you can't give to the homeless because you think they only want cash, then it speaks more volumes about what you believe about the homeless. Well, you can't give them a hug. You can't give them a shoulder to cry on. You can't give them a minute of your time. You can't ask them if they want something from the shop that you're going to. Oh, I can't throw money at them. Do you not look at yourself and how the way that you think about things? And if you didn't read this, you just shared it, then more for you. If you're sharing something like this and you're writing stuff like this, well, they take cash away, I can't give to the homeless. And that speaks more about you as an individual, doesn't it? You believe in a system of money that they print into existence more and more every single day, making stuff more and more expensive. And you want to, one, keep it, and then go, well, if they don't give me some, I can't give any to the homeless. No giving to the busking musicians. Well, you can't speak to them, no? You can't ask them if they've got an album out, no? No, I just throw money at them. That's the world we live in, isn't it? We walk past people on the floor, we throw money at them. Well, I can't do that anymore. Good. Good. No selling unwanted items for cash. Why do you have unwanted items, for starters? Well, I don't want that anymore. Do you think there's kids starving in Africa going, oh, I don't want that PlayStation anymore? Like, perspective. And why have you got to sell it for cash? The idea of what you think cash is, it's written on it, especially, well, only British notes. I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of, in fact, I'm going to go get one. Here we go, cash. I'm going to have to use my finger here because I need to spread the note open to show you. These are your notes that you spread around. I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £5. I promise to pay the bearer on demand sum of £5. I promise to pay you, when you give me this, £5. I promise to pay you £20. I promise to pay you £10. Do you even know what that means? Because if you do, you wouldn't be saying, "Oh, cash is freedom," because you know what they have the Federal Reserve that allows them to just go put out the printer all day, every day. $150 billion every month. $150 billion are just into the system. We promise to pay you. 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 Take that into a bank and say, "Go on, then pay me." They'll look at you like you've lost the plot. That's exactly what it says, and exactly what they are, and it's exactly why they're able to just keep printing more of them. Because in 1971, Nixon said, "Ooh, you can't have gold for that paper anymore, so it's just paper. We're the government, tough." And since then, they just print more, and you're now whinging and saying, "Cash is freedom." It's the very thing keeping you enslaved. That's what you don't actually realise. Let's go back to this. No buying anything with privacy. That's nonsense. In fact, buying things with privacy is done away from cash, isn't it? It's why they invented crypto. The blockchain. Dark web. Now, my opinions of what happens on these sites, some of them are deplorable, disgusting how some human beings behave. But the very privacy that you want is in places like the dark web. What you're doing has nothing to do with me. I'm just making you aware. So when you're saying something, no buying anything with privacy, that's complete and utter nonsense. Because you can do that with crypto fairly easily. Again, my opinions on what you do with crypto, none of my business. I'm just saying, if you want to buy things with privacy, you don't use cash, you use crypto. So this just doesn't make any sense. Well, if we can't have cash, we can't buy anything privately. You can, you use crypto, simple. 100% digital currency means your life is 100% dependent on a power source and the internet. Yes, I agree with you on that one, to be fair. So, do you think they're ever going to shut the internet off? Because their whole world runs on it. The way programs being fed to people runs through the internet. They shut it off. I don't think they'd have more power. I think they'd probably have less. So if that power source and the internet is going to stay on, every penny you receive will be recorded. Every transaction will be tracked. Yeah, absolutely it will. So there's no shady backdoor corruption. Everything is on a blockchain. Everything is recorded, where it goes to, how much is in existence. Your talking about this, that they print $150 billion of it every single month. $150 billion every single month. And it's keeping you at the bottom and them at the top because they own the printing machines, and then they own the banks, and they own the big companies, and they own your boss and your boss's boss, while you're scrabbling around trying to, well, keep this. Well, they just print it. They print it into existence because it's not backed by anything, because Nixon got rid of that. Not backed by anything, so they can print it into existence, which means they can have more of it. And if they got more of it, they can buy more stuff in our society, because that's the society we run on, isn't it? We run on pounds, euros, all backed by the dollar. That's how we live our lives. That system has to collapse. It's the way it's built, as it collapsed in 2008, and it collapsed before that. That's the way it's built, and another collapse is coming, which is why they're printing more until the collapse comes. So a cashless society means zero cash. Yeah, good, because they keep printing it. So if we can move to a system where everything is going to be tracked, every penny you receive will be recorded, every transaction will be tracked, then you're going to know who the good and bad people are, aren't you? Like, this is on a fundamentally different level. If you share everything you do, everything you are with every other human being in that space of transaction. So if I want to buy this, I want to buy that, I want to buy this, the anonymity of the purchases is there, but it is A paid B £2, not pounds, but 2 Bitcoins. B paid C 3 Bitcoins, and there's a big ledger, where all these 21 million Bitcoins are, where they all are, what they're all doing, where they're all sat in different addresses, and the addresses can just be random letters, A7, Q5, and just loads and loads and loads of letters and numbers. And the idea behind it is to make everyone accountable for their actions, because the very thing that is stopping people being accountable for their actions, i.e. the very people you think are enslaving you, they're not accountable for their actions because they keep just printing this. They keep printing it with their literal printers, and now they've just gone, we'll just add extra digits into a screen because they own the systems that are the screen. Your online banking app, they design it. They decide what's in it. They do some really shady backdoor stuff with your money to keep them having these massive buildings and loads of money while you have fuck all. Like, think about it. Every penny you earn, everything you do, all goes through a third party. Tax here. You get taxed on your tax. You die, you get taxed on that. What? Well, we'll have some of that. Why? My mum's just died, left me 50 grand. Yeah, well, we want 20 grand of that. Why? Because we just want it. Like, just because they can. Just because they can. And if we disagree, they'll just pay people to keep you under their watch, under their eye, put you in and out of their courts, put you in and out of their prisons, because they can just give people paper to do it, to come and, like, big men to come and physically, weapons and battering rams to come and take you and put you in a prison, or take away things from you, take your cars away from you, take your house away from you, break into your house and just go, whoops. They can do that because they just print more of this and give it to the very people who uphold that. If they pay them well and just, there you go, there's loads of this, and they can use that for whatever they buy in their world, then of course they're going to do it. Or even if they're in a world where they need some of this just to survive. Or enforcement agents, if they don't come knocking on your door and get this off you, then they don't get paid. So it's in their interest to be very deceitful and very unknowledgeable about anything they're talking about. They literally are taught, here's a book, garbage, and they're taught it, and that's what they talk to you, just like you're just talking nonsense. But they want their hands on this. because they use it to feed their wife or their kids or what. Of course they do. They live it, and I live by it as well. That's what we live by, and that's the world we live in. And until we get rid of it, cash is freedom. I mean, there's brainwashed and there's brainwashed. Every penny you receive will be recorded. Every transaction will be tracked. Good. We can only look to the place, like we can only look at Dubai. Look what's going on there. Look how they live over there. The thing is, we live in our own world. We only live by our own perceptions. We don't see or expand our horizons past what we know. China is pretty much Bitcoin everywhere. You know, the Chinese superpower, which is going to overthrow the American superpower. Oh, we're not thinking that far ahead. Oh, no, of course you're not. You're still brainwashed by this nonsense because you're not actually thinking further ahead and where actually we are going. Oh, they're going to chip us. Oh, pull your fucking minds out of your asses. I mean, seriously. If you genuinely are still campaigning to keep this and you have Stockholm Syndrome.